Michael Brofsky had a company called Free Flow Productions. I think that was the name of it. And he managed Carol's band, basically, which was some of the Lost Gonzo people. And he managed Joe Ely and Jerry Jeff Walker and all that. So I was hired to work with Carole, but I was hired to work with her daughter, Sherry Goffin. Yeah, I think that's it. And Sherry was a teenager, and Carole wanted her to be more involved, so she wanted her to take the pictures, but she didn't know anything about it. So they hired me to oversee it, and Carole and I hit it off pretty good, and so then eventually it kind of steered around to where I became the art director for it. So. And she, people have asked me a lot of times who's my favorite person that I work with. It's Carole King, and she's one of those people that is extremely experienced. I mean, she's done a billion things, and she's very well known, but she's also very professional in how she approaches things, and she knows to hire the right people to do the job and let them do their job, and so I was able to take control of it, and it was great. She wanted to move away from the Earth Mama look from Tapestry, where she's with the cat, and I'm sure you know the cover, but so she wanted a more sophisticated look. So I came up with the idea of a white piano, and then and she wanted a more elegant dress. So we took her shopping and bought clothes for her, and it was for Capitol Records, and we could spend any kind of money we wanted to, and so that's how that all happened, and I found a white piano at Straight Music, but it was a grand piano, and Carole King's about 5 feet tall, so it kind of dwarfed her, so we had to bring in a baby grand piano, and then she wanted it tuned. I said, Carole, it's just a prop, and she goes, tune it. so we did. So we had a piano tuner come in and tune it, and she would sit at the piano and doodle, which is what a lot of artists do. If you give them a guitar, well, they start strumming it or a piano, and we rented a ballroom, the Women's Center on 19th in San Gabriel, which is MLK now, right? And we rented the ballroom and had white background paper, behind the white piano, and I thought it was a great setting. So anyway, so every morning, Carole and I would I be there early, and setting up, making coffee and pastries and all that. And it was great to spend time with her and get to know her and everything. And one morning, the most exciting thing that's ever happened to me in music, we're sitting at the piano, right? And so she's doodling, right? And she starts singing "You've Got a Friend," okay, which is it's a great song, and it's just me and her. And I'm sitting on the piano bench with her, and I'm going, I've got to be the luckiest human being on earth right now, So. That was something that stood out more than anything. The original photographer for that photo shoot that we pulled in to help with Sherry was Scott Newton, and Scott is the official photographer for Austin City Limits, and so he does all the images and everything, and we pulled him in to do it. And there's a story about every album I've done, and people are just amazed by what you go through. In the middle of that whole thing, his wife had just had a baby, and the baby went into the sudden infant death thing and was in the hospital, right? So when we got a chance, Carole and I would take a break and go over to the hospital to check, see if everything's going. But I had to bring in another photographer. can't remember his name, which is fine. So Harry Boyd was his name. And so we had to bring him in. And this is in the days where film, camera film, and you had to have a Novotron, which is a power unit. I don't know if you know what that is or not, but in the middle of the shoot, it blew up. so I was like this is hard enough to do as it is, right? And then you have to deal with all those problems. And so then we had to halt the photo shoot and bring in a new unit and everything. And during that photo shoot, it's the only time I've ever fired anybody, but Harry Boyd was over talking to Carole and giving her his business card so that she could call him to do stuff. And I fired him on the spot, because he was, because he was working for me, not her. And so we went from there and struggled through the whole process. The interesting thing is the album here. I'll pull it out. There you go.
Hold up a little higher. There you go.
Got it.
Perfect.
And see, here's the white piano. So anyway, so her co-partner, well, her husband for a long time was Jerry Goffin. I think there might be a photo on the back of this, or it's in here someplace. But Carole King and Jerry Goffin wrote all the songs for Tapestry. But because of the success of Tapestry, because it sold 18 million records, Jerry probably was not that responsible, and so he was in a hospital in LA. And but Carole wanted him to be part of this whole thing, because this is like a best of record for her. And so we flew him in. I got him out of the hospital and flew him in. And he was not in the best of shape, and one morning he was over, getting coffee. Right, he was in a white suit. We had him all dressed up, and his hands are shaking like this, and he couldn't pour the coffee, and so I helped him pour the coffee, and we'd have to wipe his. It was another element that we had to deal with in doing this one album. So and it was the most important thing I'd worked on, and so I was very aware of that, and having to deal with it. You would not have wanted to be around me in that 2-week period because it was so intense. But anyway, that's it. And and then on top of it all, here, let me show you. I can see her outfit here. Originally, she had slacks, okay, underneath the top, but it didn't look good, and so I was concerned about it. She, no problem. So she pulls off her slacks, and so it's just the top here, but it covered everything. It was fine, but what that did was she was dating a guy, I forget his name. But he was kind of a mountain man kind of person, a nice guy, but he was concerned about that. So we're trying to pick out the photo to use for the cover, and he objected to that particular image. So I had to spend a lot of time trying to convince Carole and him that it was okay. So it wasn't just a matter of shooting a photo and picking the right photo. It was having to convince everybody else. So it's like, and I was just going, oh, God, this is so hard. And this is, before there was a computer. So you have to keep that in mind.